Hi,
Hey, what's going on, Cooper? How you doing, man?
good. How are you?
Dude, I am doing so well. I wanted to start by saying I'm such a big fan of your work, man. Like Cha Cha genuinely is one of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh,
And
thank you.
because you're able to give such a raw and honest portrayal of just being in your 20s and the complications that come with that. And so thank you, first of all, for just being a voice to the younger generation of cinema goers and artists. I really do appreciate it, genuinely.
Thank you so much for saying that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, absolutely. Well, let's talk Hal Harper because this is a project that's been so closely connected to you for so long.
Yeah.
This project has been something that you've been working on for quite some time. In the script, I believe you said when you were pitching it, it was like something like 300 pages, which is obviously so daunting of a task. So, what made you tap into so much depth with this family in particular with Hal Harper?
I don't know, a past life maybe. I think that I've just been with them for so long. It's been 10 years of like writing scenes and only like 5 years of knowing that it was for an audience. Because at first it was just like this writing exercise almost. It was like, who are these siblings that I keep wanting to write about? And over the time, certain things kind of broke open, but um, it it's interesting. Like the 315 pages were so daunting to everyone but me, because it was like I had written probably 3,000 pages of stuff, and I had to make it into something that was for an audience, and that 315 pages was the version for an audience, and it was everyone was really like, that's insane, that's so much stuff. And usually you get a TV show sent to you like in episodes, but I would send it to everyone in just like one, because it was like one big movie to me always. Um so it was this kind of never-ending process of being in a different, like that's what being a director is just like you have all this stuff that's pretty readily available for you, and it's not for everyone else. They have constant questions, and you just have to answer those questions and guide them into a place that is not so overwhelming for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure it was a pretty therapeutic process for you. And you're
Yes.
juggling a lot in this project, obviously, as you've done with previous things, like I've already mentioned, acting, directing, and writing. But a lot of this series is heavily reliant on the chemistry that you have with Lily Reinhardt, who plays your older sister, Harper, in the show. So your trust and reliance on each other is genuinely phenomenal in this series. So how did you get there as an actor with Lily, like just in the acting portion of it?
I think it was really important. We knew each other a year before shooting, and we when we first met, she asked if I wanted to go to Mount Shasta with her, which is this place in Northern California. And I think she thought I would say no, but I said yes. And we got really close on that trip. And I think we developed a relationship that was you said trust. Trust is like the main thing that you need to feel, to do the things that are written on the page. Like we never worked on this Hal and Harper specific relationship, but we developed a trust off camera that you carry to on screen, and then you just do what's on the page. It's like it's impossible to have, we didn't develop a 22-year relationship and then put it on screen. It was kind of just, you develop trust off screen, and then when you're on screen you just do what's on the page, but you feel like open to trying all these different things, and you're open to failing, and you're open to all, like it's just about having that trust and just doing what's on the page, so combo.
Yeah, well, it radiates off the screen, genuinely, man. So it's really great to see.
Thank
I
you.
wanted to speak on this next question from a personal place. Is I feel that I'm someone just learning more about myself and the aspect of codependence that I go through. And I know you've spoken previously about this in the SAG conversation about how you feel you're kind of codependent with a lot of different people, and I could feel similarly in a lot of ways. Why was that an important theme and in context for you to explore through the multiple relationships that are in Hal and Harper?
Codependency is just, I guess, the thing that struggle with in my life, so I write a lot about it. And it's just always interesting to me, like where it stems from and how it affects life. And I like what you said. It's all at the end of the day about knowing yourself or not knowing yourself. And I think Helen Harper, I think if you're a perfect healthy parent, what you want for your kids more than anything else is for them to know themselves. And I think Hal and Harper didn't really get to know themselves. They had to kind of be a mirror to their dad and to each other. And they survived with the help of each other and met each other's emotional needs and kind of like didn't figure out who they were. And I think that uh, reckoning is what's happening in their young adulthood is realizing that they have to start coming apart because they don't know who they are. Uh, yeah, they know that they love each other and care about each other, but that is not is not being in your body.
Yeah,
Um,
sometimes I mean, as much as they love each other, sometimes that's not the healthiest kind of way to go about life, I guess, right?
right. Totally. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. My next question might be a little bit out of left field, but I'm a former high school film teacher myself. And
Oh,
so I really appreciated the relationship that your character Hal had with Miss Havens in the series,
oh
despite how
yeah.
little we kind of get with it. How she kind of becomes this magnetic pseudo mom to Hal at times. So I think connection is so important with anybody and everybody, especially with young and developing minds. Why was that relationship important for you to include within the series for Hal?
I mean, it's just it's one of my favorite relationships in the show. It's not out of left field at all. It it was just I think that every teacher, I mean, I guess the on the surface answer is kind of she provides this, it's subtle, but it's like she knows this family well. It's when you if you were to think about being a first grade teacher and also just being in this place in San Francisco that they're in and this like small school like you know they know everyone knows about this family and knows that the mom died in a very crazy way when they were little and the dad is a little absent and I mean I think it is why Harper doesn't get invited to the party probably and when the answer to your question I love when Miss Havens says I'll write a note to take home to your dad and so it just lets you know kind of subtly that she knows that Hal doesn't have a mom and so she kind of takes on that role when she can obviously in a healthy way and it's not overly and I
Yeah.
loved like the actress who played Miss Havens. Like I think I was always kind of wanting more maternal, and she was really smart about like let's stay in the reality while having you can have the awareness while not going too far. Because it's this balance of she's a teacher, but also she is driving them home sometimes. Like dad forgets to pick them up, and she knows where they live, and she has to drop them off, and that's a scene in the sixth episode, and it's very personal and and yeah, it's just it's so sad. But yeah, I love that relationship and I love that character and I think the actress did a phenomenal job. Her name's Christy.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, as a former teacher, it spoke to me and the part of the reason why I went into the profession. So kudos to you for doing that. Andrew Russell is a fellow actor and someone who we've had on this podcast before, and he, like myself, is a massive fan of yours. Like at the end of the podcast, we usually ask like some of your favorite filmmakers, and he mentioned Shot Real Smooth, and we both kind of like fanboyed out a little bit. So he wanted me to ask you a question, correlating to your process as an actor, like about what goes through your head when you're getting ready to go on a set on a project where you're writing, directing, and acting all at once. Like what is your head space like when you're going on set to shoot?
I have like a big packet with me every day where I have um a lot of notes about what this I just go scene by scene and I know my script well enough to know how it fits in the bigger picture, but I also have these kind of notes each day to remind myself. And I sometimes just boil it down to just three bullet points of what the audience needs from this scene. And from there, I'll keep that in the back of my head. But then the real goal always is just to discover the scene with the actors and to figure out what they need for it to feel right and truthful. And also just I immediately kind of established with the actors that like we're not going to move on until we really feel it in our bodies. And it's a lot, like you, and especially we were shooting like 10 pages a day, something insane like that. So you have to come prepared with the things that you need, but also uh, be present enough to know what's actually feeling alive. So it's kind of this balance of being present while also having in the back of your head the things that you you really do need.
Yeah. It's just beautiful the way you intertwine like humanity with the filmmaking process. I think it's awesome.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask about the childhood home as a major nucleus revolving around the family throughout the series. I'm not sure if you've had a chance yet this year to see Sentimental Value, but Joaquin
Yes, I
Trier does
did.
something. He does something similar, and it struck a real chord with me. As I love where I live and where had grown up. By the way, we are from New Jersey, so another shout out to Cha Cha Real Smooth. That we love that it's a
Yes.
Jersey movie. Why was the childhood home in your eyes so important to all of these characters, despite it not always being the most calming place to be all the time?
It's just the story, simply put, is uh letting go of the pain that the childhood home held. And I think uh Hal Harper, um yeah, it's similar to sentimental value, that it's not like, I think most of the time with when people think of like their childhood home, it's like, oh, like I don't have, it's a sad house. I mean, I could go into my personal life, but the it's this house that they have this relationship with that is not very it's hard to describe. It's like it's not that they love it and are gonna miss it so much. It's just that they don't know how to let it go, and they have to. And that's like what the whole story is starting anew and letting go of the old, and knowing that you're never really gonna be able to let things go. You just have to, like the last one of the last shots of the show is the young family walking into the old house, and then it cuts to the present day family walking into the hospital room to see the new baby and Kate. And so
Mhm.
it's almost that is the whole show, is
Yeah.
putting it to rest and not knowing, and knowing it's not going to disappear, but it's surely going to change, and they're going to look different. And it's kind of been
Yeah.
a weird process of letting the show and the characters go, myself as the creator of it. It's like I'm not letting them go forever, but they're free to grow now, and they're free to go do their thing. And I think that's what their relationship is with that house.
Yeah. Which it's reflected in the series because so much of it is about the memories that sort
Yeah.
of they want to still live with that they came from. So I have to ask this question that about Cha Cha Real Smooth in particular. I rewatched it another couple times prepping for this interview because you explore a lot of your character needing to like in that and in this needing to kind of fill space constantly, whether it's by talking or by doing something or to get a fellow character to feel something deeper. But you still feel the isolation and the responsibility. And in this, I think you feel it even more with Harper. So how did you come to that with her character in correlation to what you do in Cha Cha Real Smooth as well?
Yeah, I think Andrew has a lot of uh it's different, but it's similar. I think there's even a line in Cha-Cha where the mom kind of gives a nod to him growing up too fast. Because I think he did, I think Andrew, his mom is bipolar, and they went through probably a messy divorce, and I think Andrew became a caretaker, and also someone who's not good with silence, but also someone who doesn't really know who they are. And I think there's a big correlation to Andrew and Harper and the way that they took care of their single parents and the way that they had to mirror their their parents. And I think that's the thing with Andrew and the thing with Harper and the thing with Hal is like they kind of don't know who they are because but they're really good at showing other people who they are. And and the journey is uh realizing you gotta figure out who you are.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I got one last one for you really quick.
Yeah.
You have two upcoming projects on screen, but you're not directing or writing. You're acting with All That She Wants, and then See You When I See You, where you're directed by Jay Duplass, who I know you've referenced many times as your favorite filmmaker. Can you preview either of those projects for us? And if you are working on anything writing, directing wise right now?
Yeah, I had so much fun working with Jay, even though the movie is quite devastating. It's a true story, and the person who it happened to was on set every day, and I was kind of playing a version of them, and it was based on this book that he wrote. Um, uh, and it's I don't know how much I could say about it, but it is coming s soon. The other movie I just finished, it's like a rom-com that was a different world.
With
But it
Annie Murphy,
was
right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
it was really fun, and I love Annie so much. But yeah, that movie was they were very different movies. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm excited to see you in both of them, man. I'm excited to see all the rest of the stuff you have going on. Like I said, I can't even begin to explain to you how much it means to me getting to talk to you today. It really means the world. And Helen Harper was such a great, like, again, like 8 episode therapy session for me, but also by the end, I was hysterical from my own experiences, from experiences with my loved ones, and just kind of taking all of that in. So, congratulations on the project, man. It's truly a beautiful, beautiful television series.
Thank you so much, Darian. I really appreciate it.